this computer. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and welcome to the Southwest Project Management Toastmasters Club. We always appreciate welcoming guests. We always appreciate one another. We appreciate everybody. And so thank you so much for joining today. The value of your joining us this evening is, we can't put dollars on it. So we really appreciate it so much. Before we get going here, I would like us to recite the pledge of the allegiance. And without further ado, I am going to just show the flag. I don't know where the flag is. Okay, let's go. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Once again, welcome. We do not have any new member induction today. But before we get going, I'd really like our guests to briefly introduce themselves. I think most of them we've met before, except maybe one. Without further ado, I'd really like to start with Ms. Gail Lover, Distinguished Toastmaster. Gail, can we please give her a big round of applause?
Thank you so much. You want to know something about me?
Yes, please. Introduce yourself, what brought you here,
okay,
and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, my home club is in San Diego, California, which is, the meeting is about an hour and a half from now. And I was invited by either Avi or either Mr. Keen. I always get the invite from them, but I've been a Toastmaster over 24 years. I am a distinguished Toastmaster and a past district governor. And I am working in 2 districts, 5 and 56. 5 is in California, 56 is here, of course. And anytime I can jump in and help be invited, I show up.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, Distinguished Toastmaster Gail Lover. We always like to have you here. We actually love having Ms. Lover here. Next is going to be Christine Fontenot. Christine, can you please put yourself off mute and then introduce yourself? What brought you here? And we're so glad to have you here tonight. Over to you, Christine.
Thank you. This is my second time visiting, and I am president of a newly chartering in the charter process club, the PMI Mile High Toastmasters, and it's been just one of my objectives to visit as many different project management oriented Toastmaster clubs as I can to see how other people are doing things and learn from them. And really enjoyed last month's meeting, so I've decided to come back and visit again, and glad to see everyone, glad to be here and help out as an evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next guest is Kim. Kim, can you please introduce yourself and tell us what brought you here?
Sure. My name is Jihae Kim. I go by Kim often as well, if it makes it easier. I've done Toastmaster in 2 different groups before, and I completed the CC and LC a few years ago. And I like to develop my public speaking skills again, so I wanted to join this Toastmasters. And also, I'm a PMP as well. I'm a chemical engineer by background, but also have a PMP, so I thought this project management type of a Toastmaster would be even more interesting. I'm glad, happy to be here.
Thank you very much. Next is Tosin Esho. Can you please put yourself off mute and introduce yourself briefly and what brought you here?
Yes, thank you. My name is Tosin. I am happy to be here, first of all, and just want to say that the reason for being here is to be able to be part of this team to also improve my public speaking capabilities and core competencies as well. I am a senior product manager with Siemens, and I work on different projects, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the last but not the least is Tiffany Hudson. Tiffany, please put yourself off mute, introduce yourself, and tell us a little bit about you and what brought you here.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Hudson. I'm originally from Chicago, but I moved down to the Houston area like about a year and a half ago. I was a Toastmaster years ago in the Chicago area, and I do need to get back in because I find myself, but it's always getting nervous. My heart start pulsating and voice tremble, and I need to get back into a Toastmaster. So I'm trying to figure out which Toastmaster is good for me. I'm a good fit for me.
Thank you very much. And many thanks to all our guests tonight. We really appreciate you joining us. Some of our members are not here this evening because it's around Christmas. So people are traveling or busy wrapping up end of year activities and stuff like that. So I apologize. So we're more than this, but thank you so much for joining us. With that said, as the club president and presiding officer tonight, I'm going to hand it over to the Toastmaster, who is myself. Mr. Secretary was going to be the Toastmaster, and he called me 2 days ago that he would be driving out this morning and driving back this evening, but he feared that they may not arrive in good time. So that was why I made the change. As your Toastmaster, I would really like to welcome you all again to this meeting tonight. Our meeting theme is celebrating 2022. And I'm going to leave it to the grammarian to tell us a little bit about the word of the day. But I mean, why is it necessary for us to celebrate 2022? When we started in January, a number of us, we had very clear goals with respect to who we like to become tonight, as far back as in January, as a Toastmaster. Some of us, we've delivered several speeches. Some of us, like Avi and myself, we have added 3 letters in front of our names. And with that said, please, I really like all of us to unmute ourselves. Avi just became a DTM like how many days ago? So let's please give Avi a big round of applause. So it's our latest DTM. And distinguished Toastmaster, if you are very new, that is the height of all accomplishment educationally within Toastmasters. And I know that Avi is a very respected, highly respected Toastmaster, not just within this club, but within District 56, because he has been a division director before, he has been an area director, of course. He has occupied a number of roles, even at the district level, even when he wasn't in an area director or division director roles. He was a past club president here at Southwest. A number of us, we've learned so much from him. And I tell him all the time, and I know he doesn't believe me, I learned a lot from him. Some of what I learned from him, that's what I'm practicing now as the club president. So again, once again, let's give a big round of applause to Avi for pulling that one off as the latest distinguished Toastmaster. So thank you all so much for this. So celebrating 2022, that's one of those things that we can look back and say, okay, we said to ourselves, we started 2022 this way, this is where we are right now. And we have life, we can breathe. We can actually look one another in the eyes and say, okay, I recognize her as Rafia, I recognize her as Christine, I recognize him as Tosin, and so on and so forth. It's great. So we're very grateful. So all we're doing tonight is just to celebrate one another. Let's have a great time. Let's enjoy it. Let's feel free. Let's have fun. So that at the end of the day, when it's 8 o'clock, we will be able to look back and say, wow, what a time. That is the expectation tonight. And with that said, I know I can't really do this work alone tonight because I'm more of the general host of this meeting. I've got a very experienced evaluation team being led by our general evaluator. And our general evaluator tonight is Rafia Safi. Rafia is also a member of our executive leadership team at this club. She holds the position of the club treasurer. And we're so pleased and we feel highly privileged to have Rafia as one of us within this club. So without further ado, let's put our hands together for Rafia, our general evaluator, to introduce herself and her team.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmasters. As you all know, I'm Rafia Safi. Today, my role is going to be as a general evaluator. What I'll be looking the general theme, the general energy of the meeting, and I'll be seeing something that is happening or something that's not happening in the meeting. And I'll be taking the notes on everything. And I would like to take the notes of the preparation or organization, the delivery, enthusiasm of all the speakers and all the participants. And towards the end, I am going to be presenting my detailed report. And with me, I have my other members who are going to be supporting. So the first member from our team, I'm going to introduce our grammarian. Our grammarian today is going to be Ms. Gail. Ms. Gail, over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Ms. Raffi. The word of the day is newness. Newness. And we think about newness when the new year comes in, or we think about resolutions that you're going to do. Make sure if you make a resolution, you stick with it, because it won't be new after a while. Newness, neophyte, that's another thing. Something that's also new or beginning. So if you're starting a new year, you're starting out as a neophyte every year. The word of the day is newness, and I will be listening for that word today. Shall I do the R counter, Ms. Rafia?
Yeah, go ahead, please. You will be our R counter also today. Please go ahead, Ms. Gail.
Thank you so much. After today, you will not have me as your R counter, grammarian. I have ears like elephants. In my home club, we fine you 10 cents per infraction for your ahs and so's and Xeroxes, up to $1. And we put that into and we donate to the library. I will be listening for ahs and ums and so's, and you know, and buzzwords that you use quite a bit. When you're speaking, don't say ah in front of your word. Give yourself 2 seconds. I will make a note of it and I will report to you. And I will report to you, because if I don't, you will never know that you made these infractions. So be on your P's and Q's. Don't be offended, because I'm going to pick on all of you this evening, especially your president and your Toastmaster. Thank you so much, Ms. Rafia.
Thank you, Ms. Gail. Thank you so much for taking over the roles. Our next functionary team, I'm going to introduce to our timer. And our timer today is going to be Madam Jessica Sun. Jessica, please let us know about your role.
Okay, thank you, Miss General Evaluator. So as a timer, I'm responsible to keep track of the time for each sessions and participate in the meeting. And I will give you a green card when you pass, and then a yellow card when you almost over, and then a red card. So basically we have 3 speakers. All 3 speech are 5 to 7 minutes. So at 5 minutes, you will see green card, you are qualified. And then 6 minutes, you will see yellow, and then green card, the red card will be come up 7 minutes, but you don't disqualify, you still have 30 seconds to close up your speech. And then for the evaluation team, the timing is 2 to 3 minutes. So 2, 2.5, 3, you will see the 3 different colors, and then you have 30 seconds to close. And then the last but not least is the impromptu speech is 1 to 2 minutes. So 1 minute, 1.5, and 2 minutes, you will see all these 3 colors. So I will change my background so you will see the colors. Thank you. Back to you, Ms. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Madam Timer. So our next functionary team will be our ballot counter, and our president is going to be performing the ballot counting, and he's going to let us know how it is performed.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. And once again, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As your ballot candidate tonight, I will be pushing through electronically the list of those who qualify to be voted for. And then you will have the opportunity of a click. And then I will collect all that, present it to the Toastmaster, and then we will announce the results. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Mr. Ballot Counter. So now I'm going to hand over meeting to our Toastmaster, and he's going to take the charge from now onward. Okay, back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator and the evaluation team. One thing that I'm going to try and do tonight, I have to recognize one of our past presidents, Toastmaster Anthony Ally, who we have the uncommon privilege of having join us tonight. And with that said, I know, Christine, you are going to evaluate speech numbers 1 and 3. You can focus on 1 while we give Mr. Ally to evaluate speaker number 3. Is that okay with you, Anthony? Yeah. You're not gonna come in here and just go like that. No, it's not possible. So with that said, Madam General Evaluator, the evaluator number 1 is going to be Christine. Evaluator number 2 is going to be distinguished Toastmaster Gail Lover. And evaluator number 3 is going to be Toastmaster Anthony Ally. With that said, speaker number 1, it's Dr. Ohe Alba, as I like to call him. His project is Understanding Your Communication Style. And the project title is How Your Communication Style Affects Your Professional Success as a Project Manager. Here is his introduction. As part of the presentation mastery pathway, Ohe Alba will make a 7-minute presentation on how your communication style may be a determining factor to success as a project manager. Project managers shall understand all communication styles and the best way to communicate with their team members. That will be a decisive factor on the success of a team. Well, distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, guests, please put your hands together as we welcome Dr. Ohe Alba, our Vice President of Education, who is our first speaker tonight. Ohe, the floor is completely yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Could you please let me share my screen with you? Do you see my screen now?
Yes.
I lost you from my, well, let me see if I can gain access.
Yes.
Okay, so, all right. Thank you very much. Good evening, distinguished guests, fellow Toastmasters. Who agree with me by a show of hands when I said that every project manager spends more than 85 to 90% of their time in some form of communication, either with internal or external stakeholders? And I would say everybody here is a project manager. If you ever attempt to do anything, that's a project and you have to manage it. But when talking about communication as a leader, communicating with your team, and how to improve your communication with your team, there are many things that you can do to improve it. However, truly effective communication requires especially a comprehensive approach. One of the most important things is recognizing that people respond in different ways to different situations, and when they are acting or when they are interacting with certain people or certain group of people. As humans, engaging in communication is one of the most important activities in our personal and professional life. Successful communicators has built empires, driven innovation, made people fall in love. But at the same time, unsuccessful communicators has ruined relationships, sunk business deals, stirred workplace conflicts, and even create wars. So my presentation agenda tonight, we are going to touch bases on communication styles, on how do you need to know your communication style, how to set those different styles in actions, and then I will have a call of action at the end. So your communication style can have a tremendous impact, positive or negative, on your ability to lead a team and to be an effective project manager and lead an organization. Developing this ability to adapt your style to meet the needs of your team members will create a positive workplace, a positive culture that will motivate your team to perform and to achieve their common goals. But how do you know your communication style? First of all, we have to identify that all of us have a primary communication style, and we have to understand it and understand how it differs from other styles. It will take a long way towards success if we know our own communication style. Psychologists have developed different models of communication styles since the 1920s, but Toastmasters actually have a very good one, and they recommend 4 different behavioral styles. First one is direct. It's a communicator that prefers direct communication backed by hard facts. They can be intense and very blunt, and sometimes they like more to give commands than to have requests. Then the second one is the analytical. I'm sorry, I skipped one. The analytical. They are more like functional communicators. They like processes. They enjoy learning. They enjoy demonstrating new skills, and they like to have a passion for precision and detail. They analyze any problem to the most minimum detail. The third one is supportive communicators or harmonizers. They like to make everybody feel inclusive. Everybody achieve the goal after a common discussion. They work best in an environment that prioritizes in cooperation, loyalty, and stability. And finally, initiating. They are the classic people's person, like our friend Anthony here. They are influencers. They behave and express communication very well. They always create an emotional connection to their team members that brings success. They focus more on the why than in the how. Now, I mentioned before, everybody processes communication in different ways, depending on their preferences, and sometimes we all have a mix of communication styles. For example, my personal style is supportive, but also I'm combined with direct communicator. So I have a very strange mix there, but that's the way my style is. And you can imagine through the years, I have had to interact with people that are very different than me. For example, my wife is a direct communicator. So we have had our conflicts due to communications because she's a bullet point person, direct communicator that requires us to get to the point immediately. While I'm more like a type of person that wants to get everybody involved and talk to everybody and make sure that we include everybody. So if you understand how you communicate, you can adapt your communication style so you can work better with others. So the first thing is you have to flex your style as a leader. You have to know the communication style of your team members, each one of them, and adapt to your style every time you communicate individually with each one of them or as a group with them. For example, if you are a communication style and you go and try to talk to a person that's more of a steady influencer, you're going to have problems if you don't adapt your style. Second, how do you communicate with people that you never talk? Maybe a new member in your team, a new person, a new client. My recommendation is that you first ask a lot of questions, because once you ask a lot of questions and you try to understand that person and you analyze the way they communicate and the words they use, you can build that trust and then you can adapt your communication style to them. Third, you have to understand that communication styles complement and conflict with each other. So not all of them are the same. Again, I mentioned before that if you are a direct person, other style people are going to think that you are giving them orders. So you have to adjust. And finally, I want to have a call of action to you. Find out, first of all, and be honest with yourself, what is your main communication style? Toastmasters have tools that help you identify your communication style. And do an honest assessment. It's difficult, I know, but it's something you have to do in order to understand how to communicate with others. Then, being very thoughtful about how your communication style has get you in trouble in the past. Think about areas where you have had miscommunication with others, with a group, and try to think if your communication style had something to do with that. But most important, practice active listening. If you learn to listen to people and not interrupting them and not start answering to them even before they finish their question, you will gain a lot in communication style. And finally, take a professional development program or join a group like Toastmasters, where you actually learn to communicate with others. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. It was a privilege to present to you tonight.
Thank you very much, Jorge. Madam Timer, let's put 1 minute on the clock right now so that our audience members can provide Jorge the gift of a feedback. What did you like about his speech? What would you like him to consider working on? We'll spend the next 60 seconds. Madam Timer, let me know when 1 minute is up.
Okay. One minute up.
Thank you, Madam Timer. Our next speaker, speaker number 2, is someone that we all know very well. And I have the pleasure of calling him for the first time Distinguished Toastmaster, and that is Avi Roy Chowdhury. Avi's project title is Timing Matters. Avi is a seasoned technology professional with several project and process management certifications like CAPM, ITIL, Six Sigma, Black Belt, etc., and currently 1 Tuesday away from PMP. Today, he will highlight some general ideas and timing-related observations from the world of product and technology sector, though it's applied to any field. Please put your hands together as Avi delivers his speech.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I'm going to share my screen right now. Please let me know if you can see.
Yes.
Thank you. Madam Timer, good to go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have an idea. Now, many of us also have ideas regularly. It takes a lot of effort to bring one idea from inception to real world use. I may ask one question here, that how many of you know what percentage of idea generally gets, again, from inception to the real world implementation? Can anybody give a quick answer? 5, 4,
1%.
3.
1%.
Exactly. In fact, I'll go a little less. It's less than 1%. Thank you, Jorge. Less than 1% of all ideas in this world actually sees the ray of sunlight. Why is that? Well, let me go to the next screen. There are multiple stages in an idea creation to life. It starts from just something that comes to your head. Many people just leave it right there. To bring the idea to the final endpoint, we have to research it, validate it, see how much relevant it is to the existing market. A design team is working on it to make sure every ends are tightened up. Marketing team works on it to brand it. There are sponsors who will be ready to fund that project or fund that idea. And then a team is going to develop or build it. Once everything is ready, the sales is ready to launch it and sell it. Many of us here are project managers, they lead projects, lead organization. You know how this whole cycle works, and then you actually drive at least 1 or 2 phases in this particular process. It's very interesting, and everybody here is limited mostly on the scope that we try to deliver. From my standpoint, I fit on the build area in my technology side of it, but I do work with the other ones. As project managers, we play a very critical role to emphasize the need of that idea and push it to market. Where things lack, I'm going to give you some example here. Here are some of the example companies we all know: Chesapeake Energy, Chuck E. Cheese, Guitar Center, CC's Pizza, JCPenney, and Hertz. They all, when they started, had amazing idea, each of them. But do you know what is one single common theme between all of them? Anyone? 5 seconds. 5, 4,
Lack of
3.
innovation.
Lack of, sorry, sir?
Lack of innovation.
Lack of innovation. Okay. Anyone else? 3, 2, 1. All of these 6 companies, they filed for bankruptcy in 2020. All of them. And these are famous names. So what happened? They all had amazing project managers. They all had amazing team who can actually work on genuine idea. But they all went for bankruptcy in that single year. All right, I'll give you a few more companies here. Toyota and Walmart, they have a very, very good predictive supply chain. Toyota have their own TFS model. Somebody came up with the idea that, okay, you know, we will never have supply demand issue no matter what. So as Walmart, you can never find a shelf empty for 2 consecutive days in Walmart. That's how they built that idea around it. Anybody here heard of QB? All right, QB is a very innovative idea media platform. What QB did, it minimized, or you can call it as a mini Netflix. It was launched by Meg Whitman, who was the CEO of HP. It had initially a $2 billion valuation. So what does QB does? QB is a mobile platform, same like Netflix, but every content in that was for 4 minutes or less. Why? It was targeted only for commuters. If you're traveling by Uber or by a transport place, then you sit on a place and then you just watch a couple of movies and then you get out of it. That's what the idea of QB was. $2 billion valuation, April 2020 when it was launched, and it closed out by 2020, the same year. So who took the bite out of it? The whole customer base? HBO Max. They pulled the whole customer base out of it. Same goes with WeWork. Anybody know who WeWork is, what it is? WeWork is a company that lends you office space. If your company doesn't have office space, you contact them, they give you desk, computer, everything. You just pay for the service. $47 billion when they launched. Rapid expansion. Whenever they found a building, they went and leased it so that they can have people to sit there and work. And in the end, it just came down to $6 billion valuation. So who took the bite of that customer base? Zoom. And you know why? This company went out of business during COVID season. Same with Peloton. Everybody knows what Peloton is, right? It's a bike exercising company. It was also launched or boomed during the COVID time. It was like the Wall Street's sweetheart, but then in the end, it became a bad date kind of thing because the company broke so bad. $50 billion valuation this company had. But right now, it's just a software company. So who took the market? And again, this boomed so much that it took away the existing gym memberships, whoever had it. So this Peloton was the company, the idea took away the customers from existing companies. So all these companies I told you, they all had idea, but why did they fail? Well, they failed because one simple thing, the timing. Every great idea needs to align with a critical factor. Again, as we said, timing. As project managers, we deal with only a core area. But then when the big project goes to market, as a project manager, your scope ends, but the project or the product lives from there. If the timing is not right, it doesn't survive in the market. So what can you do as project manager? Well, as project managers, we have to start thinking, or leaders, we have to start thinking beyond the scope of just being a project manager. That is very critical. If you want to stand out, you have to think like how your CXO team is thinking right now. They have a vision. You need to have that same vision with them. If you see something, you say something. This is not like complaining about anybody. But if you see an idea, you go and report it, or you say you want to work on it, and people will be really happy about it. And in the end, what do you have to lose if you follow these? Nothing. But one idea can change the whole world and your life. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Avi. Madam Timer, let's put 1 minute on the clock so that we can reciprocate the kind gesture of Avi giving us the gift of his speech by providing him our own gift of a feedback. What you liked about his speech, what you would like him to improve on. 1 minute. Thank you.
I have a question. How do you circulate the feedback? Is it directly sent message?
Yeah,
You put
just
it
go to the chat
on the chat.
and
Just-
then find the name of the speaker
Gotcha.
and then provide them the feedback. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Timer. Our top speaker is our timer tonight and our Vice President of Corporate Relations, Jessica Sun. Jessica's project title is How to Grow Orchid, #2. I believe that this is going to be a continuation based on lessons learned from a previous speech. Tonight, Jessica will deliver a 5 to 7 minute presentation on how to grow orchid, #2, based on the feedback she received after her first speech on this topic. To complete this project, she needs to deliver 2 speeches and do a speech evaluation, a great way to learn how to do evaluation and give feedback. Please join me in putting your hands together as Jessica delivers her speech.
Can I please try to share the screen?
Sure.
Hold on. How come I cannot see my screen?
We can see it though.
You can see the okay.
Now we can only see your screen,
Oh, I'm
not
sorry.
the presentation. We're able to see the presentation earlier.
Oh,
There
okay. So
We can
I
see
do
it.
this way. Is it better?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
But it's not
all
in
right.
it's not in the presentation mode.
Oh no. Yeah, I did it on purpose.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let me start.
All right, I'm going to start timing you now.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't hear my first speech, I think most of you, at least half of you haven't heard my first speech. The 2 feedback I need to improve on are for this how-to type of presentation, I need to tell what could go wrong. And the second is how to a call for action at the end. So are you all ready? Let's go. How many people have orchid at home to celebrate 2022? Please raise your hand. If you don't, maybe this is one of the newness you can bring to your family. How many of you throw it out after it bloomed? Nobody? And how many of you have orchid rebloom year after year? I was like some of you, my orchid can only bloom one time after my purchase until I met my friend Blue Bonnet. And she showed me her experience and technique, and I became successful in raising orchid. Here is a picture that I took on Monday night. This is all 4 of my orchid plant. And you can see the flower stems is coming out. Especially this one, it has a very small flower stem, but I'm very proud with this plant because this is my first orchid. I have it for over 10 years and it never rebloomed. And this is my second. After I met Blue Bonnet, it rebloomed the second year. So I got these 2 at the same year, and all 3 rebloom on the 3rd year. But this one never rebloom. It has the smallest leaf and the thinnest roots, but over these years, it's become stronger and stronger, and the leaves are getting better and more, and I have more roots come out as well. So 2 weeks ago, I saw the flower stem came out. I was beyond myself. My patience and all this technique finally broke in. Do you want to know how I did it? Like any other plants, orchid needs sun, nutrient, water, and soil, and many other factors to make a healthy plant. To get a healthy plant, you need to build healthy roots, healthy leaves, and most likely it will bloom. When you first get your orchid, you need to check what type of soil it's in. If it's in the moss, you need to replace it immediately with bark because moss tends to keep the moisture at the roots and the roots could be rotten. So it will be much happier in the barks. And like human being, orchid also need food. People always think, oh, I need to water my plant, but they forgot their plants also need food. So for orchid, before and during bloom, I give this type of food, which has higher content of potassium, which will stimulate the flower and make it last longer. After bloom, I give this type of food. It has higher content of nitrogen that will stimulate the roots and the leaves to grow. And when I water it, I don't water from the top head because the water could stay at the heart of the leaves and make the leaves rotten. So I soak it in the container with a mixture of food and water, and for 4 to 6 hours, twice a month. And also sunlight is very important for a healthy plant. In nature, orchid blooms from about fall to May to springtime. And for my plant in-house, the state you see in the pictures, they probably will bloom after New Year and it will last till May. And when they're blooming, I put it in a bright room with scattered lights. Living room, kitchen, anywhere that people can access to it and admire its beauty. And after bloom in the summer, I will place it at the east window with the frost glass because we all know the sun in Houston is very strong. It could burn the leaves. And before bloom, like September, October, I will put it at the south side of the window with direct sunlight that will stimulate the flower stem to grow. So in summary, switch the soil from moss to bark and use soaking technique, a mixture of food and water, and then follow the sunlight system. So, and most important thing, be patient with your plant. Orchid is beautiful. The flowers last for so long, and if you know how to do it, it can bloom year after year. So a call of action, do you want to try on your orchid? Remember, be patient, build the healthy roots, then the healthy leaves, and most likely you will have beautiful orchid year after year. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Jessica. If you
yeah.
can just unshare your screen, that would be great.
Yep.
Okay, with that said, please put 1 minute on the clock right now, Madam Timer, and then please let's provide Jessica our own way of giving her a gift of her feedback. What you like, what you would really like her to do differently.
Can I please ask a question?
Not yet.
Okay, all right.
Madam Timer, how are we doing with time?
Oh, time's up.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to turn it over to you again, Madam Timer, for the timer briefing speeches. Did all the speakers, did they all qualify?
We have 2 qualified. Avi didn't.
Avi did not qualify. Okay. Now, with that said, let me quickly push out the poll. Polls.
The poll is still showing up. You want to leave it like that?
No, it's coming, it's coming.
Okay, all right.
I just have to edit it.
Now it's ready.
Is it ready?
Yeah, it's ready. We can vote, I guess.
Okay. All right, I will be shutting down the poll. Thank you all so much. All right, with that said, I am gonna now turn it over to the table topics master. That way we can continue the meeting. Over to you, Ohe Alba, our VP.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmasters. So we are going to start what I consider one of the most important portions of our Toastmaster meeting. The table topics is this portion that will allow us to think on our feet and get much better at public speaking and impromptu speaking. Because many times when we have to interact with others, we are not prepared. We won't have time to be prepared. The way I put it at this is, let's think that you are going to get into an elevator and, I don't know, the Jeff Bezos of your profession or the person that you always dream about meeting walks into that elevator with you, and you have 1 to 2 minutes to ride the elevator with that person, and he asks you a question. What are you going to tell that person? No, sorry, I'm not prepared. Nope, you have to think on your feet and impress that person. So this is the way I look at table topic. So I'm going to do a newness approach, but tonight is celebrates a celebration of holidays. So I'm going to do a very light type of questions for everybody here. And I'm going to start with our guest. I'm going to put you on the spot, sorry. So my first question, 1 to 2 minutes to respond. Don't make it shorter than 1 minute, don't make it longer than 2 minutes. Will be for Tiffany. It seems that you want to answer my question. So, very simple.
I'll do my best.
What was your favorite Christmas or holiday gift that you received as a child, and why?
Oh my God. So one of my favorite holiday gifts as a child, I probably had to be 5, was a big wheel. Big wheel, I don't think they make big wheels anymore, but it was fun because I can ride up and down the street and turn the big wheel around and have dust all everywhere and stuff. But another gift, I like to play games that have you concentrate and focus, like Chinese checkers and just regular checkers. I like games like those. So games and a big wheel for sure was my favorite Christmas gift as a child. I need to continue to talk. Okay. And maybe another gift that I had as a child, it was so long ago, I can't remember. Well, not my gift. I'm gonna say one of my brother's favorite gifts as a child was the Evel Knievel doll. That's with the doll, the male doll, and he jumped over a whole bunch of whatever stuff. That was one of my brother's favorite dolls that he played with all day long when he was a kid. So those like my 3 favorite gifts.
All right.
Can I stop?
Thank you very much. Excellent, excellent. That's really good. Awesome. I'm just trying to bring everybody's memories from where you were kids. I do remember my first bicycle when I was like 6 years old. Still have it in my mind when I was riding on the street with my dad teaching me how to ride a bike. All right, the second question, still on the light side, very light side. Let's have it for GJ. GJ, did I say it right? Or oh, yeah, GJ? All right. Sorry if I mispronounced it. So, what is a New Year's resolution that you make every year, year after year?
Okay. I'll go. Alrighty. Well, thank you for the question. I guess I have 2 New Year's resolution, and the one that you're looking for would be losing weight, cut down on the carb. Every year I make this resolution, and workout. I think workout wise, I've been doing much better, but cutting down on the carb and losing weight. I have 2 kids, so it's still there and trying to lose it. But this year is gonna be a little bit more special because I was saying, like, from my blood work, there's a little bit of like health issue that I'm looking at. I'm not as young as before, so I want to keep on my health better than before. So I think the cutting down the sugar, carbs, the rice, those are my favorite food that I've been craving for, will be very helpful. And actually, I started cutting down, and it's been helping and giving me more energy. So I think I'll continue to do that. So hopefully in the 2023, I can actually really make this New Year's resolution to the dreams come true.
All right. Thank you for sharing with us. I hope that you complete your resolution this year. All right. So let's stay on the side of things. Let's stay on the very side of things. So let's ask Tosin. Is that correct, Tosin? Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, you're correct. You're correct.
Let's ask you something very light. So what type of family traditions were very unique to your family during the holidays, and how they were different from the rest of the world?
So in terms of the family tradition, while I was growing up, one of the things that we've consistently done was to invite my cousins over to our place, our home, and that was like on the Christmas time, and we tend to reciprocate that gesture on the New Year. So they come over on Christmas Day, we eat, play, dance, do fun things, and we tend to reciprocate that same gesture on New Year Day. And one of the feedback that I would say from all of these experiences has actually been helping us to mingle with people, helping us to communicate better with people, helping us to even know some friends that I probably never have known in the course of all of these traditions. So I would say that that has actually been one of the traditions, particularly in the holiday seasons.
Thank you, Tosin. Thank you for sharing with us. Absolutely good. Yeah, I have the privilege of living in Houston and met people literally from all over the world. And for New Year's, we have been learning different traditions from different people, and we have been incorporated to the point that now when we celebrate New Year's Eve, we pretty much finish with all the traditions somewhere around 2 in the morning. Take us that long to get there. Madam Timer, do we have time for another question?
You can do one more.
Okay. Thank you very much. I guess I'm going to pick this time on Christine.
Okay.
Let me toss you a little bit more to put you on the spot type of question. So what was the shortest time it took you to break a New Year's resolution? What was that resolution and why you broke it?
Oh, that's a good one. The shortest time it took me to break a resolution. Oh, I always make fitness related resolutions, and it's funny. It feels like the universe is working against me sometimes. It's okay, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go to the gym, or I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do a yoga video before I start the day, or I'm gonna get up and do this every Saturday. And somewhere within the first few weeks, I managed to get sick or something, and there's a day that I can't do it, and it's like I just break that streak. And then it gets just, okay, well, I'll get back to, well, no, I have a meeting I have to start. I have to go to at 8. Do I get up at 5? I don't want to get up at 5. And it always seems to be somewhere in January that I fall off, and it's always fitness related. And so I would say, yeah, I would say consistently exercising early in the morning is something that I have consistently stated as a resolution and consistently fallen off within the first month, unfortunately. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. I guess we all have been there with one resolution or another. So I guess my call of action before I let you go is that this 2023, we are going to stick to at least one of those resolutions and take it all the way to the end of the year, whatever it is, and we're going to say, I was successful this year with at least one of your resolutions. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmasters. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Table Topics Master. Madam Timer, did all the speakers qualify?
Yes, I'll qualify.
All qualified. Excellent. Now I'm going to push out the voting. Please, let's vote. Sorry, let's vote for the best table topics as responder. Okay, thank you also very much. And with that said, I'm now going to turn it over to our general evaluator, who is going to manage the evaluation section, which is the third and probably the most critical portion of this meeting tonight. Madam General Evaluator Rafia, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. We are going to enter on our third segment of the meeting, and that is the evaluation. We are going to call the first evaluator. That's going to be Miss Christine. She will be evaluating Jorge Alba. So I would like to invite you, Miss Christine, to give your feedback.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. And Jorge, I really enjoyed your presentation. Subject was how your communication style affects your success as a project manager. And I felt that you were did a great job with clarity. Everything was very clear. Vocal variety was good. Eye contact and gestures, even though it was a presentation, I did still see you on the side and you were still looking at the camera and gesturing for emphasis. I thought that was really good as well. It felt very natural. You seemed like you were very, very comfortable with the audience and the topic that you're speaking on. The interest was very interesting. It was very well constructed. It's definitely very relevant. The presentation was very well organized. The layout of the slides, the images, and the text was not too much to take away from what you were saying, not too much to try and read while we're listening. Everything was very concise and used relevant images. The only thing I would say for improvement, I really liked hearing about how to develop your adaptability to adapt your style to your team members. I would like to hear more of that. This is a subject that definitely could be expanded to, an 8 to 10 or probably even beyond type of speech length. But I felt for the 5 to 7 minutes, you were very concise and just hitting bullet points about communication styles, knowing your style. And probably my favorite part was the call to action, being honest with yourself, analyzing past communications, and which you emphasize very, very strongly, practicing active listening, which is so important, and taking professional development programs. So overall, I thought very well done and really enjoyed it. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you so much. Our next evaluator is going to be Ms. Gail. She will be evaluating our speaker number 2, Avi. To you, Ms. Gail, please.
Thank you so much. Avi, good to hear you speak. You got us involved right away. And your first slide says, I got an idea. So I'm going to use the acronym GOT, G-O-T. What was good, opportunity, and what was the takeaway? It was all good. You have some very good slides. You're doing presentation mastery, and it says your presentation skills. Your slides were right on spot. You gave us a lot of information on the slides, and verbally, you got us really involved into it. An opportunity, maybe 2 slides less. That way you won't run over time, because you covered a lot of materials. You talked about JCPenney's, that was really good. And about Walmart, that was really good. And Peloton, which was really good. But you could have left a couple of those off. So that's an opportunity to stay within time, maybe 1 or 2 less slides. My takeaway here was information you gave us. You did a lot of research in this. And when you were speaking, I couldn't find anything right away with your speech. I've got to find something that he can improve on. What is it? Your gestures, your voice, they were all very well. You stayed within your space. You used hand gestures. You looked at us, vocal variety. The only thing, again, the opportunity was your timing. And near the end, you said, thank you on your slide. Remember, we are to thank you. You are not to thank us. So when you started your slide off, I've got an opportunity. You should end it with the same note. What is your idea? You said, I've got an idea. At the end, give us something to think about. Give us a takeaway. What is your idea? So I'm sure that you have a lot of ideas you want to put forward. You explained this slide so well. You gave us information about bankruptcy and the whole business. A lot of things I did not know of. I heard a queepy, but you enlightened me on certain things and the people, and you put names in there. Your research was just wonderful. So I thank you, Mr. Avi. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gail. Thank you for your feedback. Our third evaluator is going to be one of the past presidents, Mr. Anthony. Anthony is going to evaluate Jessica. So floor is yours, Anthony.
Thank you very much. What a privilege to be here tonight, to hear some incredible presentations. And I'm so blessed to be able to evaluate Jessica's presentation. I will share my evaluation in the following unusual framework: content, delivery, and connection. Regarding content, I really appreciated the fact that you had an introduction with clear understanding of the objectives of your speech for yourself and what you wanted the audience to know about your goal to improve your presentation. You were very practical in what you presented, in how to grow an orchid, flowers. And if there is anything that I could think of in improving the content side, would be, what if you did a survey of the audience and found out what was their interest regarding planting flowers and so forth, and interjected that in your speech? Or what if you connected it to project management, since there are many project managers in this audience? Potential ideas for improving the content. Regarding delivery, here, I really love your improvement, Jessica. Not only do you have colorful visuals, but you have clear vocals. Everyone can understand every word that you're enunciating, everything that you're presenting, every idea that you're communicating. As Avi was saying, take your idea to execution. Fantastic job with that. I really appreciate how you deliver that regularly and to make sure to connect the audience with that. If there was anything to improve, practice the technology prior to the session. And you don't have to wonder if your visuals are on or people can see it and so forth. Then regarding connection, you constantly asked questions. You stopped, you paused. Why? Questions are a powerful way to engage your audience. You engage the brain and start thinking of what answers would I have for that, or how would I give that feedback? Or maybe I feel awkward because I don't have a feedback. But either way, you are engaging the audience with questions. How to improve your connection? Well, if you could, have my beloved bride Susan here so she could benefit from your great presentation, because she is a flower who loves to grow flowers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, all evaluators. What a valuable feedback. I would like to ask Madam Timer, do all the evaluators qualify?
I have one didn't qualify, Christine.
Okay, so we'll be having the ballot between two evaluators. So our
Okay,
ballot counter is going to post.
Yeah, just
Right.
give me a minute. Let me update my ballot. Save. Okay, and I'm gonna launch it right now.
Mhm.
So let's vote for the best evaluator. All right, thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ballot Counter. Now I am going to start calling my team members for the detailed report. For the first, I'm going to call my team member for grammarian report is going to be Ms. Gail. Ms. Gail, over to you.
Yes, thank you so much again. The word of the day was not used maybe one time or twice, and the word was newness. None of the speakers used them, table topics didn't use them, and we see Mr. Toastmaster, he smiled, he did not use that word. So try to use the word of the day. So far as grammarian, that word was not used. There were some words that I did like, especially with Avi's speech. He had a hook. Who took the bite? He had that on his slides, and I really like that part of it. And that's my report as far as grammarian is concerned. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. So Ms. Gail, I will ask you again, I will call you again for your counter report as well.
Okay, hold on to your seats, folks. And let me tell you what I found. Let me tell you what I heard. I heard a lot of infractions, and I did warn some of you in the chat. Watch your ahs, your ums, and your buzzwords. So I'm gonna put you on disc. I'm gonna open it up to everybody. Let's start off with Anthony. Anthony, you were really clean, Anthony. You did really good. I think I had one or two ahs off of you, but that was about it. You were really good. Tosin, I had 6 ahs. Where are you? Yeah, we had 6 ahs from you. A Xerox and the word I kind of strung it out just a little bit. So just watch that. Tiffany, you're okay. Mr. Aiken, I had 6 ahs from you. Your buzzwords. And with that said, at this time, without further ado, so maybe you want to put some other words in there, change those up just a little bit. And you made a comment, turn the meeting back over or turn it over to the Toastmaster. Remember, your meeting is not upside down. So you're not going to turn it over. You're just going to return control. Okay, your meeting is not upside down. So just remember that. I had to pick at you because you're always calling to me for something, so I had to get you back. Thank you so much. Avi, you had an ah. Tiffany, hold on, Tiffany. Where are you, Tiffany? Look at you, Tiffany. There you go. Okay. Tiffany, I had 7 ahs from you, 2 so's, and you use so in the beginning of your sentence. So, blah, 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 blah. So, blah, blah, blah. Watch that. Like, he, take that word like out of there. That's millennium talking, not you. It's not your generation. Take that word like out of there. It's not a comparison. But the word and were your buzzwords. Jessica, you gave a clean presentation, but I had 2 ahs from you, okay? After I warned everybody, more or less just kind of calm down and you judge yourself accordingly. Thank you so much. Jorge, I had 1 Xerox and a so out of you. You did really good. Kim, you were okay till you got to table topics. Don't hide your face. I still see your name there, Kim. You had 9 ahs and you had 3 so's, and your so was so. You strung it along, so. Rafia, after your warning, you did pretty good. You had 6 ahs. You had 6 ahs. Okay. Christine, where are you, Christine? There we go. Are you a member?
I'm a member of a different club. I'm just visiting this club.
But you are a Toastmaster.
Yes.
Thick skin. Okay, let me talk to you, Christine. If there was money to be paid, you would fill up the treasury. So let me tell you what I found with you. You had over 20 ahs. Every few words you said was ah. And if this is being recorded, maybe they'll let you hear the recording. And you did a couple of Xeroxes. And so you would get that trophy tonight for infractions. So you want to be aware of that, okay? I don't know how many ahs or ums I had. Usually when I police someone, I have someone to police me. So if you want to throw it at me, I'll take it. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gail, for that detailed counter report. Thank you so much. Now I am going to call my timer to please present her timer report. Jessica Sun, to you.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. So the timing report for prepared speech, the first speaker, Jorge, have 7 minutes, 25 seconds. Very good timing. And Abby, unfortunately, 8 minutes, 5 seconds. So yes, just like Gail said, if you can cut a couple of slides, then you made it. Myself is 6 minutes, 51 seconds. Thank you, Akim, to time for me. And for the impromptu speech, Tiffany, 1 minute. Kim, 1 minute, 18 seconds. Tosin, 1 minute, 7 seconds. Christine, 1 minute, 10 seconds. And then as speech evaluator, Christine is so close. 1 minute, 54 seconds. Gail, 2 minutes, 19 seconds. Anthony, 2 minutes, 52 seconds. Thank you. Back to you, Ms. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Madam Timer. Thank you so much for the report. Now it's time for me to give the general report of the meeting. The meeting started on time. The time management and the teamwork was very well practiced. And it was good to see the new guests and the experienced members here today. All speaker roles, evaluator roles were filled very actively. Our counter, timer, grammarian, ballot counter, they all performed up to the mark. Speaker number 1, Jorge, speaker number 2, Avi, speaker number 3, Jessica. All of your speeches were very informative in your way. Whatever was your topic, that was very informative. And special thanks to our evaluators. Thank you very much for your valuable evaluations. And that was kind of very, very helpful for us. And our table topic master, all the questions that you asked, they were very light and very enjoyable. And at overall meeting, if I look at the overall meeting, the impression of the meeting was very positive and admirable. Thank you so much for being here today. So I'm going to give charge to our Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Now with the ballots that we've counted, we're going to announce the winners as your Toastmaster tonight. The first group that I'm going to focus on is the prepared speakers. And the winner, to announce that, please, let's have drum roll, please. For the prepared speech tonight, the winner is Ohe Alba. Congratulations, Ohe.
Thank you.
Next is table topics. Another drum roll, please. The winner is Kim.
Thank you. I'm still here.
And then for the evaluations, another drum roll, please. And the winner is distinguished Toastmaster Gelova. Congratulations to everyone. We really appreciate you all. Very quickly, I'd really like to go to the next item on our agenda, which is my Toastmasters why. And to speak for about a minute to a minute and a half tonight is our very latest distinguished Toastmaster, Avi Chowdhury. Avi, please take it away. What is your Toastmasters why? Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Before I start with what was the reason I joined Toastmaster, what is the why of my Toastmaster, I want to call on one guest, and that is Tiffany, because when you asked her in the beginning what was the reason she wanted to join Toastmaster, she just stole my answer. Everything that she said is exactly the reason why I joined Toastmaster. And I know my timing is counting here. So 3 reasons why I joined Toastmasters. Number 1, I had a lot of stage fear. That was a huge reason why I never attended any award ceremony. I was an okay student in my childhood, in my schooling, but never went to receive the award because they will ask me, tell a few things, what you're thinking and all. I never attended that. Huge stage fear I had. Second is skills to present effectively. That is a presentation behind me in my job earlier in the beginning days. I never had the courage to stand. I built it, never got to a point where we can think, correlate, and sell the idea to the audience there. It was a huge issue with me. Third is point articulation, which is, if the table topic master initially told, if you have your CEO, if you have a manager, if you have your boss in an elevator or in front of the queue asking you, what do you do for the organization? Tell me about your idea. I have 120 seconds to wrap things around with something for that person to take away, and I need to take a win from it. It was very difficult for me to do it. These are the only 3 things I always felt I needed to build in Toastmasters. I did not have any aspiration to become a motivational speaker or change anybody's life. Nobody has any time or interest to listen to me. I'm not that motivational. So I am running my own Toastmaster journey, looking at my own personal goals, what I identified I can improve on. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Avi. Before we wrap this up, I'd really like to thank our sponsor, PMI Houston, that continues to enable us to be a club within District 56. We really appreciate the group. Now, I'd really like to go back to each of our guests for probably about 30 seconds. Please provide us your feedback, and very quickly. I'm going to start with Christine. Christine, what feedback will you have for us tonight?
Thank you. Tonight, it was really valuable for me to hear an evaluation done by more experienced Toastmasters, especially a DTM. And I really enjoyed the presentations. It's really helpful as a newer Toastmaster, especially who is just chartering a newer club to hear from more experienced groups and to hear the confidence level, and also to be reminded that you all do still have some and ahs occasionally too. I will definitely work on those for myself, but just really enjoyed this meeting again, and I will probably come visit again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next is Tiffany. Tiffany, 30 seconds or less, feedback.
Okay, so I really like this meeting. This is my first time at this project manager Toastmaster. And it's the first one I've been to where they actually had 3 speakers speaking. And I was like, oh, wow, 3. And that was good. And you are very organized and friendly and very direct, Ms. Gail. Thank you so much. I know I need to join a Toastmasters soon, like the beginning of this year, next year. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany. Next is Kim. Kim, if you're still there, please provide us a quick feedback.
I'm still here, but my video is somehow not working, so I'll just speak. Well, this is my first time joining the project management Toastmaster, and I really enjoyed all those speakers lecture. I feel like I learned a lot about how to speak and how to grow the plant. By the way, I'm doing some of the agriculture work at work as well, so it was very eye-catching for me. And the Avi's talk, very brilliant topic, and it was a lot of great information on top of the public speaking skills that I want to build. So I really enjoyed the company with you guys, and see you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And the last but not the least is Tosin. Tosin, I know you had a question. I'd like you to ask us the question and then provide us feedback. Once we have answered your question, then provide us feedback. So the floor is yours.
Right. The question I wanted to ask, I believe I kind of have better understanding of how it actually pans out. So I wanted to just have better understanding of the structure and the framework of how the Toastmaster has been conducted. But, you know, having been involved in this process now, I believe I've gotten better transparency and better understanding of how it works. My feedback is that this is the first time that someone would tell me that I've got like 6 R's and, you know, like 3 souls. And so I really want to say thank you for, I know I've said R again, but, you know, I will improve on it going forward. I personally enjoy the presentation, you know, the whole structure and the whole process of this whole, you know, event. So I want to say thank you. And I promise Ms. Gail that I'll, you know, improve on my R's.
Thank you so very much. At each meeting, we nominate and award something that we call shout out moment winner. And our shout out moment winner tonight is no one else other than distinguished Toastmaster Gail Lover. Why? Because she took on 3 roles, even as a guest, and she did amazingly well in each of the 3 roles. So please join me in giving distinguished Toastmaster Gail Lover the shout out moment winner tonight a big round of applause. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. We love you. You know that. We would love to see more of you more frequently. Thank you also very much. As we close this meeting, we still have about 16 to 17 days this year. Ask yourself, what do you need to do between now and December 31st that will get you ready to hit the ground running in 2023? Whether as a Toastmaster, maybe as a professional, perhaps as a spouse, maybe as a grandparent, maybe as a parent, maybe as a friend, maybe as a neighbor. What will you do over the next 17 days to get you ready for 2023? Our next meeting is going to be on Wednesday, January the 11th, 2023. We're not meeting in 2 weeks because of Christmas. Our next meeting is going to be 11th January 2023 at 6 p.m. Central. I look forward to welcoming you all back there. On behalf of my colleagues on the executive leadership team of this club, and on behalf of District 56 leadership, I'd really like to thank you all for being a part of this great meeting tonight. Without you, we wouldn't have had a meeting. Thank you for bringing it and for bringing it really well. We appreciate you. We say happy holidays and very best wishes. Thank you all so very much. Bye for now. You can stay on if you like to. The meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you.
Tiffany and Christine,
you.
are we still
Thank you.
friends?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I appreciate the directness.
Okay, we're still friends, okay.
You're always welcome here.
I'm here to prove,
So thank you all so very much. And if
Thank you,
anybody
everyone.
has any
Stay
additional,
safe. Stay
Thank
safe,
you.
everyone. Have a good
Happy
holiday.
holidays.
Okay.
all
Happy
right, happy
holidays.
holidays. If you have any
Bye-bye.
question, you can stay on.
See you again soon.
We will
Bye-bye.
answer your question. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Akim, you can stop the recording if you want to.